Coughing this shit up. She don't be adding up. Take it later. Dope got me stuck. Elevator. Niggas owe me hella favors. I run through hella paper.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy CashOutFabo, and I'm back with another reaction. I'm back with another video. I'm back with another, you feel me? Today we got the beef that ended YBC DUL. The downfall of Philly's top art, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie, Philly is dangerous as fuck, man. Alright now, Philly is dangerous as hell, man. No doubt. But we about to check this bit out, man. Salute to Stay Safe World, man. You feel me? We grinding right now, man. No doubt.
I'm not going to say that I was surprised by this tragic news, but the timing of everything that went down will be remembered in the Philly drill scene forever.
For me, anywhere I go, nobody don't play with me. I never got robbed. I never got touched, shot at in the city yet.
If there's ever a Crash Out Hall of Fame, Philly rapper YBC DUL would definitely be first ballot. Unfortunately for him, the most viral thing to come out of Philly since Meek Mill had that video leak of him doing bunny hops, Mr. Disrespectful himself was gunned down today in a tragic scenario within his hometown.
We want to get this breaking news we're following here at 5 o'clock as we take these live images from Chopper 6. It's in Olney, the neighborhood of Philadelphia.
The timing is crazy because popular YouTuber Brandon Buckingham literally less than 24 hours ago dropped a full-length hood vlog featuring YBC DUL in his neighborhood that many believe his ops used to track his location. While this is a distinct possibility, there's no doubt in my mind that even if he wasn't featured in this video, DUL was essentially playing Russian roulette even being in the city of Philadelphia in the first place. This man might just be the most disrespectful rapper of this century. From casually name dropping ops in his songs like it's all good to legit digging up his ops grave in a past viral video from last February. YBC DUL will forever be remembered as probably having the biggest target on his back. His clique that spans from the 44th Street to 39th area and Mantua of West Philadelphia is completely surrounded by a supergroup of ops hell-bent on YBC's destruction. And in taking out DUL, it looks like they've taken out the top op in the city with not much left, with the rest of them either dead or facing centuries in prison. Man, today we gotta talk about the beef that got the infamous rapper YBC DUL smoked and the ongoing situation in one of the most violent cities in America right now. Before we get into this, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. You already know we're on the road to 100K subs, so I'm gonna need you to tap in. Check out the merch in the description to support the page, and make sure you hit that notification bell so whenever I post, y'all tune in right away, man. So let's get into this with chapter 1, A War in West Philly.
Alright, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No thank you. I got a friend who told me about this website, and now it's
The city of Philadelphia is well known to be one of the most violent American cities of all time, but I still feel like people don't understand the sheer number of people who become victims of gun violence in this town. The year 2021 was literally the most dangerous year on record for a city that's over 341 years old. With over 550 homicides that year, Philly had a higher murder rate than Chicago, yet it only has half of the population. The crazy thing about the murder rate that year is an infamous group from the west side of Philadelphia known as YBC or Young Bag Chasers were literally known for raising the murder rate in the city in 4K. The DA of Philly, Larry Krasner, has even went out of his way to call them and all groups associated or known for beefing with YBC by name for being some of the most real demons that you can imagine. With YBC DUL being one of the most vocal and disrespectful members, bro was basically the spokesperson for an ongoing war. Unfortunately for him, all this is what led to his downfall. In order to understand how things even got to this point though, you gotta rewind all the way from the jump, before the internet fame, before the grave digging, before the casual shootouts, back to the time all this started, just to understand how things even got to this point. The name YBC first started floating around from a group based out of the 42nd, 43rd, and Mantua area of West Philadelphia, known for chasing a bag and getting the money. Originally coined by the rapper J100, the group started making a name for itself as a collective in the streets, dropping music and getting bread. However, one incident in 2019 would forever change the trajectory of the group and turn them from money getters to all-out demons. These bulls were crazy.
A teenager was gunned down on a sidewalk in Philadelphia's Parkside section. Now law enforcement hopes a big reward will urge someone to come forward to solve this case. Here's Rick Williams with tonight's Crime Fighters report.
On Wednesday, May 29th, 2019, Joshua David Munson was along the 4200 block of Wyalusing Avenue in Philadelphia's Parkside section. At 1:40 p.m., police were called to the area for a person with a gun.
On May 29, 2019, Joshua David Munson was walking along the 42nd 100 block of West Wassailing Avenue in Philadelphia's Parkside section. It was seemingly a normal day in the hood, but then all of a sudden, shots rang out. Police initially arrived in the area after neighbors reported someone walking around with a gun. At the time of the shooting, police say a black male between 24 and 25 years old, wearing blue shorts, a white tank top, parked at a gold Dodge Ram pickup on the corner of 42nd and Mantua Ave, just around the corner from Munson. Police say the man exited the truck and jogged to Wassailing Avenue. He then ran back to the truck immediately following the shooting and drove westbound on Mantua. Josh would be in the hospital in critical condition, but unfortunately died from his injuries in the hospital after 2 days. This incident had a profound effect on YBC. They would name their hood in honor of Josh, calling it Josh World, and many in the group would go on to look for revenge. It turns out they didn't have to look too far, because the people they would go to war with for this incident were literally damn near on the same block, just a couple streets over, which we're gonna get into right now in chapter 2, YBC vs 39th Street. YBC got so many beefs with their surrounding neighborhoods and hoods in the west side that it only makes sense to explain everything that led up to YBC DUL's death, going from group to group. It seems like YBC's beef in the city reads like a book. It starts out simple with just one group that they swore revenge on because they believed they had something to do with the death of Josh. In doing so, they started the craziest crash out sequence you could imagine, with legendary, for all the wrong reasons, shooter from 39th Street named Sid, or as many people call him, Fro. 39th Street originally began embroiled in this beef when a pickup basketball game turned into violence, and after the dust settled, 20-year-old Niferic Hawkins was found shot multiple times. You already know he became one of the topics in YBC DUL's disrespectful music, name dropping him as Buddy, who he said they were smoking on the regular. Not far from this incident, a shooting at a crowded barbecue on 38th Street would injure Sid, who would later become a major issue for YBC because he was a known shooter / homicide maniac himself, with his first victim becoming YBC member BL, or as his family knew him, Brashawn Hall. Brashawn was in the Belmont neighborhood of Philadelphia when he was surprised by a masked gunman, shot multiple times in the head on the 900 block of Belmont Ave at around 9:30 p.m. The shooting would set up an insane chain of events, with YBC trying to get back for their fallen and willing to risk anything and everything to take him out. Somewhere shortly after this incident, another YBC member named Lil Moo would get gunned down that many thought Sid had something to do with. Unfortunately for him, Lil Moo was the best friend of YBC homicidal maniac Curry, who was just sentenced to 80 years, which we'll get into later this chapter. After this incident, Sid decided to lay low with the street life catching up to him. His family apparently took him out of the city for a while to try to calm things down, but when he returned to the city, he was arrested. YBC soon got news that he was supposed to be released and decided to camp out on him and ambush him as soon as he got out of the joint. Their plan worked, at least they thought it did, and then they killed the 20-year-old man getting out of the precinct. Unfortunately though, it was the wrong guy, which is completely insane. But guess what? It didn't stop the crash outs. They soon learned that Sid would be on house arrest and decided to pull up and try to spin, but in doing so they missed their target and hit his 6-year-old sister, which would make nationwide news in a brazen, broad daylight failed shooting that just made them look even worse. Sid would continue to try to lay low, but I feel like he eventually realized that it was too late for him. YBC would not stop until they found him, and they eventually did. And if you think that this story is crazy so far, you're not even gonna believe what happened next. On Friday,
yo, fam, they were spinning until they had got him, twin. What the hell? They killed the wrong nigga. They hit the nigga little sister, twin. That's tough. That's crazy as fuck. That shit sad as hell. Like, bro, they kept trying to spin on, bro. Like, damn.
Friday, September 17, 2021, Sid, still on house arrest, was posted up with his father just at the crib on the 2900 block of Wakill Street in the city's Port Richmond neighborhood after his family moved to a different side of Philadelphia. He was trying to lay low when a pair of masked men pulled up to his open screen door, fired inside, hitting both him and his father.
The latest incidents of gun violence in Philadelphia has torn a family apart and put police in harm's way. Police were going after a suspect in a double shooting that killed a 19-year-old man when they came under fire themselves. Two gunmen walked up to a front porch on the 2900 block of Wakill Street in the Port Richmond section last night. Police say the pair started shooting through a screen door. The teenager was fatally shot, along with a 49-year-old man believed to be his father. Police arrived on the scene quickly and were alerted to an area where people said a suspect had fled. That's when they themselves faced that gunfire.
Sid would be killed right then and there, and his father was injured. Imagine YBC taking out their biggest op at the time, but that wasn't even the most noteworthy news of the night. Police were actually in the area and heard shots and pulled up to the area where they saw two masked men. One of them fired back at police, almost wounding them, while the other was able to get away. Police swarmed one of them when he was hiding under a car and was able to apprehend one of YBC's top shooters, a dude who goes by the name Curry. Yes, bro was named Curry because he be shooting. Crazy thing is, last week Curry was charged for this murder and actually one other, which we'll get into right now.
Damn.
It's safe to say though that takedown would be the beginning of the end for YBC, and you're gonna see why when several other gangs in the area would end up joining forces just to take out the top ops of West Philly, which we'll get into now with CCK versus YBC Chapter 3.
Damn, so they beefing with everybody, bitch. What the hell?
On Thursday, March 11th, 2021, at 3:04 p.m., 4 people were shot on the 1400 block of North 76th Street. Philadelphia officers responded to the scene and learned that all 4 victims had taken to Laconico Hospital in 2 private vehicles. One of the victims was a rising North Philly rapper named Tamir Brown, who also went by Lil Mir. He unfortunately didn't make it after being shot multiple times, but Lil Mir was cool with a lot of members from the 39th Street, and his apparent killer allegedly had ties with YBC. YBC DUL and YBC members began dissing Lil Mir shortly after the shooting in many songs and on social media. Lil Mir was an alleged member of another ruthless gang by the name of O to the 4, who would end up getting involved and clicking up with 39th Street as a means of revenge for their fallen member. This would not be good for YBC, which we'll get into later, how this affected the gang on the timeline. One of the craziest incidents was the shooting of Nazir Marks, an affiliate of YBC, getting gunned down, and then just 30 minutes later, a kid by the name of Kanye Pittman would be shot in retaliation in North Philly. He would be named in songs over and over, as Young Bull would call him Bull from the Back Block, after getting taken out in an alley. The murderous year of 2021 would get even worse, with a quadruple shooting, which would then cause another gang, 56th Street, to click up too.
Cannabis. It's not just legal in 38 states. It's a $36 billion global industry.
Teenagers with bright futures shot in broad daylight in West Philadelphia. Today, we're learning more about the 2 students who were killed while they were on their way to play basketball. Action News reporter Annie McCormick is live outside of Boys Latin Charter School. And Annie, we know you spoke with the family of one of the victims.
And Rick, we did. And, you know, the students here at Boys Latin are once again grieving the loss of another classmate. Like you said, there were 4 young men that were in a vehicle that was shot at 56th and Vine yesterday. 3 of them attended Boys Latin, and one of them was killed. His name was KJ Johnson. We spoke to his family a short time ago. They say he was excellent at school, excellent at sports, and was loved by so many.
Kalen Johnson, or KJ as he was known by his family, was riding around planning to go play basketball with 2 O to the 4 members and 1 56th Street member when their car was riddled with bullet holes. Unfortunately, KJ and another teen by the name of Tommy Frazier would be killed. Tommy Frazier is who they call Snipe. This is where 56th Street, the Clappers, a hood known for their rapper Young Livy, clicked up with O to the 4, the Campers, and a gang from the 7th Street area of Philly who goes by the Clappers with a K. Like I said previously, there's pretty much no way that anyone could survive this type of pressure and live to tell the tale when all these groups, including 39th and 44th Street, who had bad blood over Sid and Kanye Pittman shooting, joined up, and it was pretty much the end for YBC. But at the same time, YBC would click up with North Philly, P&B, to try to calm down the pressure, but obviously it didn't work because the end for YBC would come very soon in Chapter 4, YBC DUL shooting and the end of YBC.
Damn,
2021 was a year of raising the scoreboard for YBC, but the years that followed harbored nothing positive for this once infamous gang. J100, the founding member, would end up getting shot and killed, which dealt a major blow to the gang.
Damn.
On top of this, YBC DUL's blood cousin, Da Fetty, would end up getting shot in a brazen daylight incident as well. At the same time, the police were putting major pressure, with DA Larry Krasner saying he was making YBC the top of his list of gangs he wanted to take down, along with other gangs that were beefing with them like CCK. It definitely seemed like karma was catching up to them. I think YBC DUL saw the writing on the wall for a long time. I thought he was actually going to leave the city of Philly. It seemed like at least he was doing that with interviews with no jumper and basically posted up as he was living in LA. For a long period of time, this war was sort of starting to die down, and every year after 2021, the number of murders in the city actually decreased. YBC DUL though would once again make headlines in an insane video in February that we previously documented on this channel of him trolling his ops, basically digging up one of his ops' graves, which is definitely crazy. And if you followed this channel long enough, you already know that pretty much everyone who messes with other ops' graves ends up getting smoked. So karma was not on bro's side. But whenever I watch YBC DUL's story, it seemed like he was out of Philly, like he was in Miami or in LA, posted away from the trenches, focusing on his rap career, or posted up with other rappers from different areas like Lil Scoom or something. But it seemed like today was the day where his ops finally caught him slipping. Just 24 hours after popular YouTuber Brandon Buckingham would drop a crazy hood vlog featuring YBC in their neighborhood, as YBC DUL would basically lead a tour showing them all of their popular hangout spots. In the video, DUL would basically exclaim that nobody has ever touched him or robbed him or done anything to him that resulted in him going outside.
Anywhere I go, nobody don't play with me. I never got robbed. I never got touched, shot at in the city yet.
It's crazy how the foreshadowing is, because no less than 24 hours after this video dropped, news broke everywhere that a shooting at 3:30
he said all that shit, them just done pulled up on him, twin.
p.m. on August 23rd, 2024 would take DUL out, probably bring an official close to the YBC beef in the city.
We're told that a 25-year-old man was shot multiple times in the chest and in his hand, was taken to Albert Einstein Medical Center by a private vehicle, but was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Just after 3:30 p.m. on the 5500 block on North 6th Street in the only neighborhood of Philly, police responded to a broad daylight shooting. Police say the 25-year-old male victim was shot multiple times in the chest and the hand. He was taken to an area hospital where he was pronounced dead. Sources have identified the victim as Abdul Vix, a well-known rapper as YBC DUL. He was affiliated with gang Young Bad Chasers. Apparently, 2 gunmen snuck up on DUL as he was getting into a white Lexus. A car full of his friends apparently sped into the hospital in an attempt to save his life, but he ended up not making it. This probably marked the end of the well-known people left behind in this pandemic era gang war, but the cycle of violence will most likely continue, with families left to pick up the pieces. The reason why I made this video and my previous video on this topic was to put a face and name to the faces that the news always seem to bury deep in the headlines. While people might just see these people as unidentified criminals or statistics or just a little article, even though they were all terrible people, they all had a story that was insane. A story that many in these neighborhoods and fans of these rappers will remember for better or for worse. And it's honestly crazy that a YouTuber that kind of showed light on this, who posted this, could have actually been a victim as well, because just 24 hours after he posted this all went down. Imagine if this happened when they pulled up and were shooting this. This kind of shows the danger of the work that YouTubers do, the dangers of the work the rappers do, even though they know what they're doing because they're crashing out. It's just a whole industry that revolves around violence, killing, and basically dissing, which honestly isn't sustainable. But if you really think about it, these dudes were supposed to be nothing. They started out in a crab in a barrel mentality in the slums, in the trenches of one of the most violent neighborhoods on earth. And even though they're complete crash outs, they somehow made a name for themselves and will be remembered. I don't know if it's a legendary status in a good way, but they'll be a legendary status in some type of way, man. But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this whole situation. Do you think he had it coming? Do you think there was any other?
Yeah, karma real as fuck, bro. He had it coming. I ain't gonna lie to him. He was doing all that distance. Bro, all he had to do was stay away from Philly, bro. That's all he had to do. He could have did the vid. He could have did the vlog and all that and left the city, gang. I don't know how the ops had his location. I don't know how the fuck the ops got his location in the first place. But this nigga got caught lacking, no doubt. But hey, roll the 1K subs, man. You feel me? Y'all boys spam my W's in the chat, M's in the chat, most of you in the chat, man. But hey, Cash Crew lit, BG with the mob, CashOutFabo, cashing out, straight motion, bro. We going crazy.